Following right now, a press conference is underway as we speak about a 15-year-old boy facing charges as an adult. This is after a deadly carjacking, driver dead in Lawrenceville. So let's listen into this press conference.
Uber drivers, the victim's vehicle. We were able to contact the family and confirm that he was out working as an Uber driver. With that, we were able to utilize Flock and find out that the vehicle in question continued after disposing of the body on the roadway, continued towards Lilburn, Georgia. We contacted Uber, who was very helpful in providing information, and we were able to get the following timeline. At 4:13 a.m., Mr. Tejada went to pick up a customer on Rangewood Drive in Lilburn. From there, Mr. Tejada drove the suspect to the 600 block of Groveland Parkway. That's where the ring camera shows the suspect exit the back seat, go to the front driver's side door where Mr. Tejada was shot. After he removed Mr. Tejada from the vehicle, he left the neighborhood. 10 minutes later, he returned to the neighborhood and then eventually went back to Lilburn. Again, using Flock and Uber records, we were able to determine that the vehicle was left in the same neighborhood where Mr. Tejada originally picked up the suspect. Detectives were able to identify a possible suspect that lived in the area, where they placed officers in front of the home. And at that time, the suspect exited the home, began walking down the road, and we were able to take the suspect into custody. That suspect has been identified as 15-year-old male Christian Simmons of Lilburn. I want to thank the outstanding work by our officers and our detectives, and we also would like to thank Uber with their partnership. This partnership was instrumental in bringing this to a swift close. The Lawrenceville Police Department remains steadfast in the protection of our community, and we would like to continue to offer our condolences to the Tejada family.
Do you know anything about what led up to this carjacking? Was it like an argument, anything like that?
No, it does not. It doesn't appear that there was any sort of argument. It appears to be just a carjacking.
Any updates on charges Christian Simmons could face, and could he be charged as an adult?
He is being charged as an adult with the murder.
Has Mr. Simmons gone through bond court as of yet?
He has. When he was booked in, he did have his first appearance in front of a judge. But with him being charged as an adult, he will go through the proper channels of going through a magistrate first appearance hearing, which is usually within a couple of weeks of the charges being filed.
We spoke to neighbors. They don't believe that Tejada had any connection to the neighborhood where he was shot and left. Can you confirm that?
Tejada has no connection. His connection, he lives in Grayson. He was just out trying to make extra money for his family. He was summoned to Lilburn to pick up Mr. Simmons. Mr. Simmons requested through the Uber app that he be transported to Groveland Parkway. When he stopped in Groveland Parkway, that's when Mr. Simmons shot and killed Mr. Tejada.
Do we know why he wanted to go to that neighborhood?
Apparently he has friends in the neighborhood, but there was nothing to indicate that he made contact with any of the residents in the neighborhood.
Any other idea aside from a motive? I mean, we hear about cars getting stolen all the time, but often you don't hear of those ending with the murder of an innocent man.
I concur with that. However, we do not have any other motive other than Mr. Simmons wanted the vehicle.
Have you spoken to the family of the victim? And I mean, like you said, it's the new year. They're starting it without their fathers.
I have not personally. Detectives are actually speaking with them right now.
What about the family of the suspect? Were there any guardians at home when you made contact with the suspect?
Our detectives has been in contact with the suspect's mother, but that was via telephone yesterday after the interview.
Do we know how he got access to a weapon?
I'd rather not release that information at this moment.
What led up to the arrest? Meaning, how did you guys perform that? Like, was he compliant? Did you guys have to forcefully, go in there and, put him into custody? What was that encounter like?
When our officers first encountered Mr. Simmons, he was uncooperative, but eventually he did comply and was brought back to the police department with any further any resistance.
Do you have any evidence that shows that when he called this Uber driver, he intended to carjack him?
I can't speak on that. I'm not sure of that.
Do we know of any efforts to help the Tejada family at this point?
We do not. If we get any information once the detectives meet with them this morning, we'll definitely forward that out.
Did the teen seem to be intoxicated in any way?
He did not.
Can we just get the formal spelling of both the victim and the suspect's names?
Cesar Tejada is Cesar Tejada, Tejada. And the suspect, Christian Simmons, Christian Simmons.
Are there any known mental health issues with this suspect?
Not to my knowledge.
Do you know what high school he attended?
We do not.
I don't know if the mugshot has been released yet. Do you have any of that?
No, we don't. Typically, even if he's being charged as an adult, a lot of times they will not release the photo of a juvenile.
What else would you like to say to the public after this happened, just a couple hours after the new year came in?
Here in Lawrenceville, our crime rate is very low. Our homicide rate is even lower. So this was quite a surprise to us, and I just want the public to know that the Lawrenceville Police Department is here for your safety, and also to people that decide they want to come to the city of Lawrenceville and commit crime. We will find you and we will prosecute you.
One more question. In the initial release that you all sent out, you said that you would not be identifying the suspect because of age. Was there something that made you all change course on that?
Well, we consulted with the district attorney's office as well as we wanted to make sure that there were no additional suspects before we released too much information.
It sounds like Flock was integral in this capture. There's a lot of argument whether or not that there should be the use of these kind of cameras, but this is an example of how this helps get a tidy end and is able to track a car across multiple jurisdictions and across the state. Can you just speak on to why it's so important that Lawrenceville and Gwinnett County have these kind of tools for police?
Sure. Flock has been instrumental in the way we investigate crime. Without Flock, our resolution to many cases would take a lot longer and possibly have no resolution. For anybody that is doubting the use of Flock, it is not an invasion of privacy. The only reason your tag would ever be searched is if it were part of resolving a crime, whether you're the victim or you're the suspect. So in my opinion, the only people that should be apprehensive of Flock is somebody that's doing something that they shouldn't do.
Speaking of the vehicle, would you be able to identify the vehicle at this time? The vehicle that was carjacked?
It's a black SUV. I don't have the specifics.
Do you know if he had any prior, has he ever been in trouble prior to this, or has he had a clean slate?
Multiple jurisdictions do have had encounters with Mr. Simmons.
Do you know what that has looked like, those type of charges, and in what counties?
I do not have that information. right.
Did you give your name and title?
I don't think I did.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm captain of Office of Professional Standards, also the PIO for the Lawrenceville.
All right,
Police
wow, so a lot
Department.
coming out of this
My
news
first name is
conference that you see there happening with Lawrenceville Police, just providing an update on that 15-year-old boy who's facing murder charges as an adult in that carjacking that happened early Thursday morning. It left an Uber driver dead in Lawrenceville. So one of the things that came out of that, of course, the names of those involved in this. So we heard from her that Christian Simmons of Lilburn, 15 years old, is who is charged with murder again as an adult in this case. And you also heard the officer say there, quote, multiple jurisdictions have had interactions with Simmons in the past. We also know the victim in this case now, the name being released there, Cesar Tejada of Grayson, 58 years old. So just a tragic case here happening out of Lawrenceville. Again, the names, though, of those involved have been released. So we've got our Ray joining us, or Ray Urena, I'm sorry, joining us throughout the day with updates on what happened and what we can expect moving forward. So be sure to stay tuned to Fox Local for the very latest on that. All right, let's get you now to some of the local headlines that we are following for you today. A Carroll County judge has set a January 5th trial. This is for Sarah Grace Patrick, and she is charged as an adult in the deaths of her mother and her stepfather. So she's accused of killing 41-year-old Christian Bach, 45-year-old James Brock at their Carrollton home. This happened back in February 20th of last year, I guess we should say, 2025. She was 17 at the time, turned herself in, you'll remember, July 8th. She's facing 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of aggravated assault. So a Tuesday hearing, both prosecutors and defense attorneys said that they are ready for the trial pending a psych evaluation on her that's expected to happen sometime after Christmas. The judge said the trial will proceed on January 5th unless fairness requires a delay. So that is the plan, to move forward with this trial on January 5th. So outside of court, Patrick's grandfather continues to defend her innocence. It's something that he's done ever since news broke of her alleged involvement in this, saying no weapon has been recovered, no physical evidence is linking her to the crime. So he maintains his granddaughter's innocence in this, but still a lot of details have not been released, many of them not known, including the contents of the expert report, evidence tying Patrick to the crime, and how her online activity that night might be a factor into the case. So we will let you know when we hear anything new that comes from that. Another story that we're on top of today, a 23-year-old man arrested New Year's Day on suspicion of kidnapping a 5-month-old baby. So Rome police posted an alert on their social media just after 5 a.m. on Thursday, just asking for the public's help in finding the man you see there, the non-custodial father and the infant boy. Now, according to the Facebook post, the baby was taken from the Oyo Hotel in Rome early that morning. They're saying at about 4:40 a.m. So photos of the infant, the car, and the father were also shared. Around 6:20, police called off the search, saying that 23-year-old Julian Mazzo was in custody and that the child was in the process of being reunited with the mother, so the baby was doing okay. Floyd County Jail is where Mazzo was booked into on charges of kidnapping, and at last check on Thursday was being held without bond. So a few things we don't know about this just yet. Police haven't released the specific location where Mazzo was arrested, and while officials confirmed the infant was being reunited with their mother, they didn't disclose if the child required a medical evaluation after the incident. Again, the motive in this situation has also not been released just yet. Let's get to Paulding County now. That's where a big drug bust happened. So we'll get you the details on this. They're saying authorities seized over $1 million in illegal drugs, dozens of weapons included in this, even a live hand grenade following a months-long fentanyl investigation. So the operation involved the Georgia Bureau of Investigation and FBI offices of Atlanta and Cartersville working together to make this happen. And they were targeting a network that was supplying fentanyl to 5 metro Atlanta counties. 5 of them. So officials recovered, let's see here, 8.2 kilograms of fentanyl. Heroin, they're saying, was a part of that. Cocaine, more than 10,000 pills included in this haul, 71 guns, $250,000 in cash, and like we mentioned, that live hand grenade. So 10 people were arrested in connection with this case. Task force commander has praised the collaboration between federal, state, and local agencies and has basically just called this operation a major success in removing what he calls poison from our community. So authorities haven't released the suspects' names or those charges just yet, or whether additional arrests are planned, but a huge drug bust happening in Paulding County. Again, $1 million, over $1 million in illegal drugs, among many, many other things that were found. So this is a story that's gotten a lot of attention online. It's one you might have heard about. We've covered this countless times. A Clayton County family, though, finally celebrating what they're calling a hard-won victory days before the holidays, as law enforcement evicted a woman they described as a squatter from their home of 10 years. So Patrick and Candace Phillips said the eviction of Camilla Ann Johnson happened December 22nd, ending a months-long battle. They've been working really hard to try to bring this about. They said they tried to remove Johnson from the property several times since the summer. They said Johnson hadn't paid the $1,300 rent since March. So since March, they have not been collecting rent for that house. They said the house was intended to provide extra income from their family, but, you know, at that point, it was just costing them a lot of money. They said financial and emotional strain as well. So the eviction process, though, was delayed, and that's because of a series of appeals on Johnson's end. Johnson eventually took this case to federal court. So we're talking about the woman who wouldn't leave the home. She appealed, took the case to federal court to move a move the Phillips's attorney said allowed her to bypass paying an appeals bond for back rent. So kind of worked her way through the system here in order to be able to stay while not paying rent. So the family finally got access back to the home. Reported finding two 85-inch TVs inside. They said the experience has changed their outlook on renting. It's made them think twice about it, noting that that Phillips purposely charged rent well below market value to try to help someone in need. So in a text response to the initial report of the dispute, Johnson denied that she was a squatter. She claimed that property managers refused to accept her rent payments, which, of course, the Phillips are saying there's no way that was the case. But right now, they're working with state lawmakers to advocate for legislation they say that would close some of these loopholes and expedite the eviction process in similar cases of these quote-unquote squatters. But sounds like some really good news for this family, though, that's been looking for this to happen for a while now. Well, the youngest mayor ever in the city of Stockbridge, this is a great story, officially taking office this afternoon during a swearing-in ceremony at City Hall. So here's what we know about him, our opportunity to meet him. He's 22 years old. His name is Jaden Williams, and he actually defeated a two-time incumbent in November, making history. So he's the youngest to do it. He's also pursuing a bachelor's degree in political science at Clark Atlanta University, so a very busy guy, very motivated, no doubt. Following this election, Williams said that his victory reflects a desire for change, he says, among Stockbridge residents. So just excited for him. So many people coming out in support of him. So this swearing-in ceremony will begin at 3 p.m. It's not just him. It's also newly elected City Councilwoman Lakeisha Gant, representing District 1, and Councilman Antoine Cloud, representing District 2. Will all be sworn in today at 3. City leaders say that this is a time they're looking forward to. This new term is focused on growth, inclusivity, and addressing the needs of a changing community there in Stockbridge. So there's no doubt you haven't seen this story, talking about those Buddhist monks that have made their way through Georgia, and they continue on today. So this is a months-long peace walk that started in Texas, made its way through Alabama, and of course here in Georgia as well. So they'll spend Friday walking through Walton County as they carry their message of mindfulness, of compassion, and of unity through Georgia. So they're scheduled to stop for lunch, it looks like, along Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard in Monroe. They're meeting visitors until 1 o'clock. They'll then continue to Good Hope, resting overnight on Highway 83, visiting hours 6 to 9. And they have been so gracious to visit with all of those who have shown up to greet them. And the crowds have been enormous for the monks as they've made their way through Georgia. So like we mentioned, this walk set to end in D.C., but they're saying their message doesn't stop there. They're traveling through 10 states, expected to arrive in the nation's capital by mid-February. So, yeah, the journey continues continues for them, and it's been so good to see such a wonderful turnout from Georgians all along the way. But they do say that if you can't make it to any of those gatherings or to see them as they trek along, they say they're very active on social media. I'm now following along and just seeing where they are. They're live streaming. They're posting multiple times throughout the day. And a highlight here, their dog Aloka, who you've probably seen in a lot of this coverage, also making that journey with them, that he has his own social media accounts as well. So certainly worth following along, both of those, to see where they are next on their trek to Washington, D.C. Well, still ahead for you this morning. We're going to get caught up on the forecast. Our meteorologist Jonathan Stacy will join us in just 2 minutes. Stick around. Meteorologist Jonathan Stacy is joining us now with the forecast on this January 2nd.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday was really lovely. Happy New Year to you, Elise. Welcome back to work. And many of you are not exactly going back today, but possibly by Monday.
Yeah.
But going back is to work, but I'm talking about to work, but you possibly could be going back home after spending some holidays in the Atlanta metro area or somewhere in North Georgia. So I want to dive in here and kind of take more of a serious tone because there is a low end risk for severe weather, mainly for southern Alabama, middle and southern Georgia, along with the coast and the panhandle of Florida as we get into the first part of the weekend. I don't think this will be a downright disruptive event, but I want to let you know some of the parameters that we are concerned about as we get into the second half of the day, Saturday. We'll get some rain here and maybe even some rumbles of thunder across North Georgia, but this could be impactful, especially if you are traveling Saturday during the second half of the day. So number one, there's a 1 out of 5 risk for severe weather. Once again, don't cancel anything just yet, but you may want to make some mindful adjustments when you hear what we have on our plate. And so this includes cities like Montgomery, Columbus, Georgia, going down to Dothan, Alabama, Panama City. We're now in Florida, along with Destin, Florida, Tallahassee, Valdosta back into Georgia now, along with Albany, Savannah, Brunswick, and even the first coast of Florida, Jacksonville, my old territory down there. Severe wind gusts, it's only a slight risk, but you could still get gusts that manage to top some 45 miles, 55 miles an hour. This is what really caught my eye when I was looking at the data, is that there's also a low end risk for tornadoes. So it looks like there's some wind shear down there that could possibly feed up some spin in the atmosphere. And that risk is pretty much a Georgia risk going down to the Georgia-Florida state line. I always like to say that. It's always kind of interesting when we have to point that out. I've spent a lot of time in this area and spent a lot of time here at this point, and this area is known for having an early start to the spring severe weather season. I hope the kickoff is not on the third day of the year, but January has absolutely, especially in recent years, been known for some modest severe weather outbreaks, but then some of note. We've had them here in North Georgia, so keep this on your radar, especially if you're moving southward. Let's move back to the north. We'll begin to see showers of a scattered variety as early as 4 o'clock today, maybe isolated for most areas. Then a more congealed line of energy moves in by 8 o'clock. So the sun has gone down at this point, and most of the fanfare is to the west of the Atlanta metro area, moving across the Alabama-Georgia state line. It will continue to push eastward as we go through the overnight hours. There will be some lulls, but there will be some communities that get some pretty hefty downpours. Once again, a few lightning strikes can't be ruled out. It's now 4 o'clock Saturday morning. Most of us are still sleeping in, but you could easily be awakened by maybe once again a rumble of thunder or some rain of a heavy variety pounding on your rooftops. If you're out and about tomorrow morning, most of us don't really have a lot of things we have to do unless it is traveling. You may want to just kind of stick inside for a little while if you want the rain to be out the way by the time you venture outside. It's 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock. Things are looking much better north of the city. Here in the metro area, inside and outside the perimeter, there could be a passing shower, but most of the strong activity is going to hang down to the south as we get into the midday period. Now it's the afternoon, and this is what I was talking about earlier.
Oh boy.
We have not seen the forecast models trend in this direction for quite some time. We actually had a fairly benign secondary severe weather season, which typically occurs in October, November, and December. But as we get into the prime time for severe storms, this is the kind of setup that we'll look at. Just like we're experiencing unseasonable warmth to the north, down south, yep, they're running up. Look at that southerly flow. It's pushing moisture in from the Gulf and the Atlantic. Also, along with that moisture, buoyancy is what you need. You also have some potentially twisting winds at different levels in the atmosphere. So this could lead to, once again, some severe weather on the ground, and we're just going to have to see how this all pans out. Nonetheless, even if it's just a really heavy rain along with thunderstorms, who wants to be driving down 75 or 16 or I-95 in that? And I shouldn't leave the Carolinas out. I don't think there's a severe weather threat, but that's pretty nasty from Columbia, South Carolina, going out to the coast, even as far north as the Outer Banks. So as we continue to go through the day, Saturday, look at that, 4 o'clock. There is a very strong line of energy over 20 as you get into Augusta, but really the place I would not want to be is going to be anywhere between Macon and Savannah at that time, going down to Albany, Tallahassee, 75 covered up with some pretty strong storms. All of that energy eventually approaching Brunswick and the Golden Isles. And then by midnight, it looks like worries can be abated at that point. And we'll be looking at a line that is now passed out to the East Coast, with the first coast of Florida, North Florida, that is, getting in on the final round of energy. For the here and now, things are looking pretty good across the area. Sunday's going to be okay. Now, the here and now, you can see the area of low pressure gathering strength as it moves over North Texas, and you can see the showers out there. Just a quick look at the forecast for today. Temperatures, once again, hanging out already in the 50s, and we're bound for high temperatures in the low 60s before the day's done. Tonight, not a big crash in the numbers because of the rain, and here are your rain chances. The rain is definitely going to be large and in charge through the evening and overnight hours, but tapering down hopefully by the time we get into the day Saturday.
I feel like it's a trade-off, right? So the temperature's gone up a bit, but now we have rain to contend with.
Yes,
So
yes, and it's one of those kind of things that if we continue this trend of above average temperatures, and we can basically continue to push winds in out of the south ahead of the systems that come jetting across the Great Plains, that is a setup that gives us the opportunity, at least, for severe storms across Georgia. I say across Georgia and really the greater southeastern United States. And so we have to watch these things, because right now is we have the tendency to rest on our laurels because it hasn't happened in a while. But we don't want to be talking about, oh yeah, you remember New Year's Day weekend, or the weekend, first weekend of 2026, when those storms just kind of woke up. They're calling it a level 1 right now. Based on the way our atmosphere works these days, could that be a level 2 by this time tomorrow? Easily.
Oh, all right. So you got your eye on this.
For sure.
So helping us out with that. Jonathan, thank you so much. We appreciate that. All right, we want to get you to some breaking news right now. There's a press conference that's set to happen in just a few moments that will be talking about this. The FBI disrupted an alleged plot to attack people inside of a grocery store in North Carolina on New Year's Eve in support of ISIS. Now, this is the word from prosecutors today. So they're talking about Christian Sturdivant. He's 18. He's from a town just outside of Charlotte. It's called Mint Hill. They say he was arrested, charged with attempting to provide material support to a foreign terrorist organization. So prosecutors said that the alleged plot was foiled after Sturdivant recently started communicating online with someone he thought was affiliated with ISIS. In reality, though, it was a government online covert employee who is referred to in criminal complaints as OC. So in one of those communications, December 14th, Sturdivant allegedly sent OC an image that had 2 hammers and a knife inside of that. So again, thought he was corresponding with someone from ISIS. It was really someone from the U.S. government. So prosecutors said law enforcement ended up searching his home on December 29th. They found all kinds of notes. One of them was called New Year's Attack 2026 and listed among other things, a vest, a mask was included in that, tactical gloves, and those 2 knives that he was allegedly planning on using in that attack. So for right now, Sturdivant remains held in federal custody. If convicted, he faces a maximum sentence of 20 years in federal prison. So this terrorist plot foiled that had been planned for New Year's Eve. Well, still ahead for you this morning, we are meeting a pastor who's kicking off a journey all across the U.S., and he's making his way through Atlanta right now. So we'll meet him in just a few minutes. Stick around. Get you to some national headlines that we're following right now, beginning with what happened in Switzerland. Swiss police right now are working to identify the victims of that deadly fire that happened at a bar in the ski resort of Crans, Montana. So what you're looking at right now is some live look there at the scene. There's also a memorial that is growing there for those victims. So this blaze broke out during a New Year's Eve celebration at Le Constellation Bar. It happened shortly after 1:30 a.m. January 1st. So about 40 people were killed, 115 hurt, some critically. And a Swiss doctor is saying many of those patients very, very young, between 15 and 25 years old. So witnesses who were there said the fire spread very quickly. Some of us suggested it may have been triggered by champagne bottles topped with flares or candles, though officials have not confirmed this. That is the word that's going around, though, about the cause of this. Eyewitnesses describe it as a scene of chaos. They say people were breaking windows. They were doing whatever they could to try to get out of there. This investigation, as you can see, still ongoing. Like we mentioned, the vigil that's growing there for those victims who lost their lives in all of this. But so many of those victims were young because this was a very popular bar with the young crowd. Seasonal workers, tourists, locals. Drinking age there in Switzerland is 16 years old, and it was New Year's Eve. So, I mean, that just gives you an idea of who was showing up to ring in the new year together. So more than a day later, there's still so many parents right now searching for missing children. Like we mentioned, survivors speaking about the traumatic scene. 6 Italian teenagers remain unaccounted for. So like we mentioned, authorities have not confirmed the cause of the fire. They're not saying whether or not it was that flare on top of the champagne bottle. The identification of victims, though, could take weeks. Several French and Italian nationals were among the missing. So it's not clear just yet whether safety standards were breached or what the word is on that. But just a really heartbreaking scene there as we learn that, teens as young as 16 among the dead at this Swiss ski resort fire that happened there. All right, moving on to Tommy Lee Jones is what I've got, guys. We're learning that his daughter was found dead in a San Francisco hotel on New Year's Day. So this is the word that's coming from TMZ. They're saying Victoria Jones, 34 years old, found inside of the Fairmont San Francisco early Thursday morning. San Francisco Fire Department paramedics showed up and pronounced her dead at the scene. A cause of death, though, for her has not been released just yet. According to People magazine, Victoria started acting at a really early age. She was in Men in Black 2 in 2002, also a 2005 film, which was directed by her father, also appeared in an episode of One Tree Hill in 2003. So again, Victoria Jones, 34 years old, the daughter of Tommy Lee Jones, found dead in San Francisco. All right, let's take a look now at North Carolina. I'm not seeing anything. Oh, here we go. Okay, so this press conference, if you were watching just a few minutes ago, we told you about that. Let's listen into what's happening about this alleged terror attack that was foiled New Year's Eve. Take a look.
Planning of this attack, he encountered not one, but 2 undercover officers. Should make the public feel very, very good and very safe. Because law enforcement is out there every day, and we know they have a lot to do. But they have people out there making sure that as people plan these terrorist attacks, they have stops so they find it. And they did find it here. And on Christmas, while we were all opening presents, they were sitting in a driveway making sure that the public was safe. And we're very, very appreciative of that. Mr. Sturdivant was arrested on New Year's Eve, the day he planned his attack. Of course, it did not become public today. It has been under seal until today. He made his initial appearance in federal court this morning, about an hour ago, and this case is now moving through the judicial process. So he will have a preliminary hearing after that and a detention hearing, and of course we will seek that he remain detained, but that's up to a federal judge on that issue. He faces a statutory maximum sentence of 20 years, but as I always tell you, every individual defendant gets a sentencing hearing where a judge takes into account a host of factors under the United States sentencing guidelines. They look at that individual defendant. The judge, he or she, looks at that individual defendant and makes a decision on sentencing, so we don't know what the ultimate sentence will be here. Originally, I think it is notable, as part of their efforts, the FBI took Mr. Sturdivant to a state magistrate judge to try to have him involuntarily committed. And that was because he had threatened not only other people's lives, but in the process said that he planned to die by a policeman shooting him. So he had threatened other people's lives and self-harm, but the state magistrate judge denied involuntary commitment. Fortunately, the FBI did not give up then and continued to build a federal case and get the evidence they needed to charge him and detain him and keep everyone safe on New Year's Eve. And I'm very, very thankful for that because countless lives were saved here. On New Year's Eve, everyone is at the grocery store. We're all buying the things we need to celebrate, and we could have had a significant loss of life and significant injury here. So we will be here at the federal level dedicated to making sure the public is safe like we were in this case. And I know that there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that's never public for investigative reasons, and it's very
all right, so we're listening now to this press conference just detailing how the FBI managed to disrupt that alleged plot to attack people inside of a North Carolina grocery store on New Year's Eve. They're saying that the person that they are accusing of doing this, Christian Sturdivant, 18 years old, thought he was corresponding online with someone from ISIS, ended up being someone from the U.S. government instead. So he mentioned, this could have been a very bad situation had that not been the case. So that's just kind of what he's outlining right there. But switching gears now, I want to talk about something that's really important and happening in Atlanta right now. So you've probably been watching and following along the news. We've covered the Buddhist monks that have been making their way through Georgia, but it's not just them that are on a journey through Georgia at this time. So a pastor is kicking off his trek. He's trading in the pulpit for some pavement. So we've got our Chris Rosenthal out live today, walking right alongside him. So Chris, tell us a little bit about what this is all about.
Yeah, absolutely. Walking with Pastor Corey Brooks today. We're in Buckhead now. He started his journey in September in Times Square and is going to make his way across the country throughout the year. And Pastor, there he is. Tell me, first of all, really nice weather for this today.
Great weather for walking, right?
Yeah. So tell me, what's your mission? Why walk?
So we're walking across America to bring attention and awareness to what we're trying to accomplish on the south side of Chicago in one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in the country called O Block, named after a young man named O.D. Perry who was shot and killed. The gangs picked up the O in his name, started calling it the O Block. We decided we wanted to do something about it, and so we changed it to Opportunity Block, and currently we're building a 90,000 square foot Leadership and Economic Opportunity Center. We're starting a boys and girls private school. We need seed money to start an endowment because we try to stay away from government assistance. And so have to be creative and walk across America to raise funds to do it and create a model for what can be done across America.
You've been in Atlanta now for about the past week or so. How's it been? What have been some of the interactions you've had? I know you had a big event at the Gateway Center today.
We've had some great interactions. The people of Atlanta have treated us really good. We had a great event at the Gateway Center where we fed over 350 homeless individuals. Taronda Jones gathered some of her friends. She's an actress on some of the shows that we see on TV. She gathered a great group of her friends, celebrities and music and producers to help us out. And man, it was a great event. And we've had people walk with us, and Atlanta has been a blessing. So thank you so much.
And you're doing sort of community events along the way, huh?
Yeah, we want to do community events along the way. It's important that, we're coming in the city. We're going to be leaving those cities, but there are a lot of non-for-profits, NGOs who are doing great work. So we try to partner with them to bring attention and awareness to what they're doing so that when we leave the city, we can still enhance the city by helping those organizations. And so we try to find organizations that have some of the same values that we have.
Next stop, talk to me about that.
Next stop, we have these detour events where we stop in a city and go to the next city. So we're going to go to Naples. We're going to drive to Naples, Florida. Then on Monday, we'll be back on the outside of Atlanta, walking toward Alabama. So we'll continue our walk until we get all the way to Los Angeles, California in September. So that's our stopping point. So got a long way to go, a lot of money to raise. We raised $2.5 million already. Our goal is to raise $25 million.
How many miles so far in Atlanta? How many miles are you doing here?
So we've done the 50 miles inside of Atlanta, and we need to do another 20 somehow, some way before Monday so we can get to our starting point where we need to be outside of Atlanta so we make it to Alabama on time. Otherwise, we're going to be a day late.
People want to donate?
People want to donate, please go to projecthood.org. That's HOOD, projecthood.org, and we really, really appreciate anything that you can do.
Awesome. Well, we'll follow you a little bit more today, and hope you enjoy your time here in Atlanta.
Absolutely.
And yeah, we'll maybe see you back here in 2 or 3 o'clock. So.
All right, thanks.
So there you have it. At least we'll be walking a little bit more.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he's got a long way to go. I'm always so curious though, what's he wearing on his feet? Because I feel like all that walking, you got to have some kind of supportive something. So what's on his feet, Chris?
He's got some. My anchor's asking what you got on your feet there.
Oh yeah.
He's got some.
Our sponsor.
Yeah, he's got comfortable shoes on. So
we're sponsored by Fleet Feet and Clouds. So
yeah.
Every city we go to, we can stop by Fleet Feet and get some brand new clouds on our feet. And about time for me to stop and get a new pair right now. So
been going through some shoes, yeah. and losing weight. He says he's lost weight on this journey.
Absolutely,
too.
lost a lot of weight. Looking good, feeling good.
I love it. Looking good, feeling good in 2026. So wish him all the best on this important journey. Chris, thank you so much for bringing Pastor Corey Brooks' story to us here on Fox Local. We appreciate that. All right, so, a lot of people are walking, but you might be thinking more about boating these days. So it's perfect timing here. Hundreds of boats are docking at the Georgia World Congress Center for Discover Boating Atlanta Boat Show. It's happening next weekend. So giving us a bit of a sneak peek, which is really exciting. We have our Eli out there. So this is something people look forward to every year. Eli, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Elise. Yeah, my boat just arrived. Yeah, it's happy it got here safe. No, but yeah, I know it's nice. It's a little bit small for my taste, but it got here safely. But that's the whole thing. They're moving in like 400 watercraft, anything from like fishing boats, jet skis, pontoon boats, and big cruisers like that over my shoulder. And it takes like a whole week long to do this because the boat show is next week, running from Thursday until Sunday here at the Georgia World Congress Center. There's going to be over 400 vessels out here, and it takes a lot of effort. They got some like big semis out here to move my boat. Joking, I wish, but and they had 2 big lift cranes right here just now lifting it up onto the roller, and so it's a big effort to get all these boats down here. And I am here with Courtney Earhart. She is the boat show manager. Hey, Courtney, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. And so tell me, why is Atlanta such a good market for a boat show?
Well, of course, as you know, in Atlanta, Lake Lanier is one of your most popular lakes, but you have so many lakes here in Atlanta that the people can enjoy boating, a pretty long time because of your seasons, because we have some people who keep their boats in the water all year round.
And so when people come here, is it just, hey, I'm shopping for a boat, or can people get more than just that?
You can get more than boats here. You can get personal watercrafts, you can get kayaks, you can get accessories to your boats, you can get anything that you need for boating.
And so, like if I was a brand new boater, I've never launched a boat before, could I get some line up some lessons and all that if I found a boat that I wanted to start off with, I guess?
Yes, we actually have an area called the Launching Point, which are entry-level boats for new boaters. And from there, most of our dealers actually provide a service for you for when you purchase a boat. They will give you lessons on how to launch your boat, how to gas your boat. But we also have seminars and Fred Shed that teach you how to do these things also.
So what all kinds of boats are you going to have here? It looks like we got some nice, really cool, groovy, these are sporty boats out here. What other do we got? Family type boats like the pontoons?
Pontoons, yes. We do have quite a few pontoons here. We have inboard boats. We have fishing boats. We have center consoles. We have cruisers. We have pretty much everything you could think of for some boats. We even have docks. That's the noise you hear in the back. They build an actual dock here of what you can have when you actually have your boat on a dock.
Gotcha. And I think I stopped right here next to the forklift guy. But it's busy down here. So, how many years have you guys been coming out here to Atlanta?
The boat show has been here for at least 25, 30 years.
And why do you guys keep coming back? Are we good customers?
Yeah, we have good customers. We actually have the dealer support. We wouldn't be able to do this without our dealers here. This is the only boat show in Atlanta, the biggest boat show in Atlanta, in Georgia actually. So all of our dealers love this show. They support this show and they look forward to it every year.
And so today, you guys just started moving boats in here today.
Correct. Today is our first day of moving.
And this will be a whole heck of a lot more packed with fun recreational
Yes.
vehicles, by the, I guess.
Correct.
You got several days of doing this, right?
Yes, we move in up until Tuesdays, our boat move in, and then our accessories, our smaller booths, they move in on Wednesday. But we will have stuff from this wall to that wall and all the way in that area over there.
Gotcha. And you're in a different hall this year than
We
you
are.
normally are, but
Correct.
it's not any smaller. It's about the same
It's
size,
the
right?
exact same size as Hall C was.
Tell me your hours real quick and how much it costs to get in.
Okay, it's $17 to get in. It's $15 if you buy a ticket online. Thursday and Friday, we have 5 after 5 tickets where you can get a $5 ticket after 5 p.m. and a $5 drink, such as a beer or something of that nature. We are also offering a special $10 ticket rate on Friday, since FanFest will also be here. Our hours are Thursday and Friday, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
And what's the website if somebody wanted to come check it out just to get some more details?
AtlantaBoatShow.com.
AtlantaBoatShow.com. And I guess it's going on all next week.
Yes, it is.
And no one around here has any excuse to be staying at home
is
and
true.
watching football games now.
Yes, because
unfortunately. And so next week, right at the 8th through the 11th.
8th through the 11th.
Awesome. And here at the Georgia World Congress Center, Elise, this is what's going on. They are just now moving the boats in here today. They opened it up just this morning, about 5 a.m. this morning, and they started moving in. You can tell that it's a bit of a production to get all these boats off the river on the highway and then into the Georgia World Congress Center and show off the 2026 array of watercraft for leisure and relaxation and fishing and impressing your friends and going out and just relaxing. The tractors don't go in the water, but
how fun.
The tractors pull the boats out here. But that's what's going on out here, at least.
So I'm trying to figure out which one I would pick for you or that you'd pick for yourself. I'm thinking the bright blue one or the silver sparkles. Which one?
I did see that bright blue one. I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
I like that big one off in the distance, though. The big one way off in the distance that's right over, let's see, right there. There we go, that one. That's mine right there. The beer's already in the cooler, getting cool. And we got some skis, and we'll go skiing, do some slaloming, and maybe do some jumps and stuff, and then just go fishing, and then just hang out and anchor and watch the other boats and compare our boats to other people's boats.
I'll drive it for you and let you
Here at the boat show, Georgia World Congress Center.
Yeah, this is
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, you can be the boat pilot.
deal.
I don't need to be. I'll be having beers anyway, so I need a pilot.
All right, I got you covered. Talking about the boat show that's coming soon here to Atlanta. Eli Jordan live for us. Eli, thank you so much for that. All right, so in just a few minutes, we're talking about the winter blues. They can make you feel blah. They can also make your kids feel a little bit blah too. So stick around for some advice on that. officially the new year. The holidays are over. Kids are still kind of in that waiting period in between Christmas and when they head back to school. And then if it's been, a little cold like it has been here, they can start to feel the winter blahs or the blues, if you will. So here to talk to us a little bit about that, we have Dr. Ariana Howitt. She is with the Kids Mental Health Foundation for some strategies to work around that. So Dr. Howitt, thanks for being on with us today. Hey.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Of course, let's dive into this. We hear about, seasonal mood changes in adults, but what do the winter blahs when it comes to kids and teens look like?
Pretty similar to the adults. You feel this decreased energy, decreased motivation, sadness. But for kids, it actually may show up as irritability. So you may have a child that's just angry and tantrumy more frequent than you may see in an adult.
Okay. So why is it, though, that this particular time period can be so tricky for them, once routines return and winter really sets in?
Yeah, you've got decreased sunlight, which impacts our chemicals. You have less serotonin, which is that chemical that makes us happy, more melatonin, the chemical that makes us sleepy, less time outside, and then, as you mentioned, less routine, less structure during these holiday breaks. And so it just really throws kids off.
So the Kids Mental Health Foundation has done something to try to help families with this, a guide for families to use. So tell us a little bit about that and the main message that you hope that parents take away from that.
Absolutely. So there's this thing called behavioral activation, which is a treatment tool we use for depression, but it actually can work as a prevention tool also. And it's simple. It's getting kids or ourselves too to do things that are fun, that help us connect with others, or that help us feel accomplished. The idea behind it is that instead of waiting to feel like you do something, like you want to do something, you just do it and your mood will follow. And that interrupts that downward spiral of depression where if I don't feel like doing anything, I don't, but now I feel worse because I did nothing, right? So we just want to keep kids active and doing fun activities.
Yeah, I love that. I think you're right. That's a lesson that parents, adults can take away as well, not just kids. So one of the tips in helping kids connect their behavior and their feelings like screen time versus social time. But what are some ways that parents can start those conversations with their kids and their teens without it turning into just a power struggle, which it does so often?
Absolutely. You want to start small with kids. If you notice that they've been in their room all day or just on screens all the time, it's not about saying no screens at all or be outside the whole day. It's more about small things. Hey, can you spend 5-15 minutes a day doing a craft, spending time with a friend? And then it increases from there. And the idea is they'll start to notice like, hey, this made me feel good. And most likely, if you say 15 minutes, they'll end up doing an hour or more because it starts to feel fun for them and it impacts their mood in a good way.
So you encourage families to focus on small. These aren't giant changes that you have to make all at once. So give us some other examples of what that might look like for a family at home right now.
It really depends on your child. And honestly, it's about what they want to do. That's the only way it'll work versus us telling them what to do. So finding something that they just like to do, that it makes them happy and fun. Finding something where they can connect to other people. And then my favorite is the activities that make them feel accomplished and proud. So that can be something like art and crafts, but it can also be like organizing a corner in your room or learning a new language, reading a book. So something where they're like, I did it and I feel good about it.
Yeah. What's some of the feedback that you've gotten from families who've taken advantage of this guide that's offered by the Kids Mental Health Foundation?
I mean, it's a lot of what we hear is like, oh yeah, this makes a lot of sense, right? Once you start thinking about it, like, of course, we can't just sit around and wait to feel like doing something. I have to take some action here. And it feels, like I have something to do. I know how to take steps towards it. And so people feel more confident in battling these winter blues.
All right, there you have it. Some great advice. You can find this guide if you search for Kids Mental Health Foundation. They've been generous enough to have that for free. So Dr. Ariana Howitt, thank you so much for being on with us today and Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
And that'll do it for us. Thank you so much for being with us here on Fox Local. We hope you have a fantastic Friday and we'll see you right back here at noon. Take care.